there are big changes coming for the WWE and the Bloodline storyline as reports say that Jacob Fatu is making his debut very soon, as well as we've seen Finn Balor has re-signed with the WWE. What does this mean for the future of the Judgment Day and for Finn Balor's solo career? We'll break it all down for you coming up on this episode of Wrestle Digest. But before we get into it, we gotta say that 89% of you guys watching these videos aren't subscribed to the channel, so if you're looking for a place for daily WWE content, wrestling content here on YouTube, you found the right spot here at Wrestle Digest, so make sure you're down below and hit that subscribe button. But with that said, let's just get right into the main topic of the video today, which is Jacob Fatu's debut is imminent. And as we take a look here on Twitter from Wrestling World CC, they say Jacob Fatu's WWE debut is reportedly imminent. So what does this mean for the Bloodline? There's been a lot of reports speculating on when Jacob Fatu is going to come, and a lot of people are speculating that he's going to join the new Bloodline with Solo Sikoa, Tonga, and a hostage Paul Heyman. And Josh, I mean, this is pretty big. I'm really excited for Jacob Fatu's debut because he looks like a really great wrestler, and I think he's really going to shake up this whole Bloodline storyline, and it's going to be really fun to see.
I mean, fun is definitely a word I would use to describe Jacob Fatu. Go watch some of his matches on the other promotions. My gosh, what he does as like a big, heavy set Samoan wrestler, his high-flying ability is ridiculous. Like, you will fall in love with his wrestling style right away. I mean, probably the most athletic Samoan in the wrestling scene today. I don't think it's a stretch to say that. And I've been seeing a lot of speculation from WWE fans who have never seen Jacob Fatu, have never heard much about him. They think, maybe he would just be that kind of silent bodyguard Solo Sikoa replacement. Well, now Solo's getting a bit more mic time, but the thing is, Jacob Fatu is even better on the mic. He's funny, he's charismatic, but can also be this intimidating, big, strong guy on his own. His physique, what he can do with the physique, like, you would never guess that his wrestling style is what it is when you look at him. I think Jacob Fatu is going to come in, and if the WWE books him right, he could be an extremely dominant force within the Bloodline. And I don't know if they're going to give him the reins right away. I'm sure they'll have him under Solo Sikoa and Tonga, whatever. He'll be alongside them. But I think the plans are in the works for him to become truly one of the heads, if not the head of the Bloodline at some point. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I really am that high on Jacob Fatu, and I think this whole story can change in an instant with him.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. Like you said, if you haven't seen any Jacob Fatu highlights, you gotta go look at him because this guy is something special. And when I first looked at his highlights and his matches, a guy who popped into my mind was Ivar. I think an Ivar versus a Jacob Fatu match would be an absolute banger. Two big boys who are really athletic and aren't afraid to go high flying at some points. I think that could be a great match. But back to the whole Bloodline thing, like you said, this will really shake up this storyline. Obviously, we've seen Paul Heyman saying, none of these actions have been authorized by the tribal chief. And, Solo Sikoa has kind of taken the reins of the Bloodline 2.0. And it looks like now with the addition of Tonga and Jacob Fatu that this is really going to be a dominant force going forward here on SmackDown or Raw if they all get drafted. That could be interesting too. But I think, with the whole Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa thing, is all going to boil down in a Survivor Series, War Games, but Bloodline rules, whatever you want to call it, Civil War. But I think it'd be cool to see that. And there has been more rumors about another guy, Zilla Fatu, who is Umaga's son. And people are speculating that maybe he joins sides with the Usos and Roman Reigns. And we see, The Rock join up with Bloodline 2.0. And that could be a really cool Bloodline Civil Wars match.
There's just so much going on, and with all this talent that could come into the WWE, I mean, I know this Bloodline story can go as long as Triple H and the creative team wants it to go for. But there's so much talent too, right? Like, Tonga is an excellent wrestler. I know he's in his 40s. Like, I don't know if he's going to get a world title shot or anything like that. But someone like a Jacob Fatu, he's not like super duper young, but he could be in the main event picture, right? And you have so many of these guys that have that potential. We're seeing Jey Uso even now being in that main event picture. We don't know the future for Zilla Fatu, who is still quite young. I believe he's below 25 years old. There's so much they can do. And I don't want them to get to a point where these guys clearly have the talent to be like title picture guys, but are stuck in the Bloodline story. I have faith that Triple H and the creative team are not gonna, spin the wheels too much on that and get stuck in the mud trying to bring this Bloodline story to another big peak. But what I will say is, hey, it's never a bad thing to have too much talent, and I think we're in for a great storyline over the next coming, I guess, years, really.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. With all this new talent coming in, and with the draft coming up on Friday, it's really going to be a fun time to watch wrestling, and I'm really excited for it. But you did mention guys who are stuck in factions who have
Yes.
a main event prowess, and that's the next guy we're going to talk about, and that is Balor re-signs with the WWE. And as we take a look here from Finn Balor on Twitter, he says, "I would like to take this moment to say thank you to the WWE for 10 incredible years, and after much thought and consideration, I've decided that now is the right time to say I ain't going nowhere." And I'm really excited for this. I love Finn Balor before the Judgement Day days, when he was the Demon Finn Balor, when he used to come out, the lights used to go up. He was one of my favorite wrestlers during that time, and like we just said, he's kind of stuck in a faction that, he could be that main event guy. He could hold a title for sure, and unfortunately, his title reign got cut short due to injury. He didn't even get to have one day with the championship, so maybe this means with him resigning and getting a new contract that he will be like thrusted into this main title picture, and maybe he'll turn against Damian Priest.
There's a lot of potential ways they can go here, but like realistically, the truth behind this signing to me is that this means we're going to see a Finn Balor push, whether it's in the coming weeks or in the coming months or even in the coming year, who knows? But I think we're going to finally see him back in the title picture. Yes, he had those tag team titles with Damian Priest for a while, and that was great, but they didn't really hold that prestige. Now we're going to see Jey Uso go up against Damian Priest. Maybe Jey Uso wins that title, not sure. I don't know if Finn's going to have a chance to go against Priest for the title, because I think we're all expecting that title to be on Drew McIntyre at Clash of the Castle one way or another. So, hey, who knows who could be the little transitional champion in the middle, but I think you're right, Casey. I think Finn might be primed for a feud with Damian Priest. They're clearly cementing Priest as a heel. Even though the crowd was a bit behind him, you put Jey Uso on the other side, and that crowd's going to shift pretty quickly. So, and they went all in on Damian Priest, so I think Finn Balor could turn face, but Finn is just such a fantastic performer, and he's in his 40s, which is kind of hard to believe when you look at him. So he is getting older, but I think giving him that last little push, maybe in the world title picture, maybe not. He has had some fantastic matches in the Intercontinental title picture. That triple threat match at WrestleMania 34, one of the more underrated matches on that card, might I just say. Balor versus Rollins versus Miz, and hey, he was actually at WrestleMania the year after against Bobby Lashley as the Demon. Of course, the Demon versus Edge match that I still think he should have won, but is what it is. Balor can put on these main event level matches whenever you want him to, and I think giving him another shot at whether it's a mid-card title, even an Intercontinental title that's been raised in like a little bit above the mid-card, it feels like, or even a world title picture, whatever it is, I got faith that they'll do right by Finn Balor, and I truly do think we're going to see a big push for him coming at some point in the near future.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there. Everything you just said is basically what I was going to say, but like you said, he's more than a tag team champion. He's a guy who should hold a mid-card title, a main event title. He just should do this stuff because he's such a great competitor. And like over the recent times, we've seen, so many heel turns, so many face turns. We've seen, Ludwig Kaiser turn on Giovanni Vinci last night. We've seen Chad Gable turn on Sami Zayn last week or 2 weeks ago now.
And the Alpha Academy.
Yeah, so it's very interesting to see like how Triple H is doing this by kind of like making people turn on their allies to maybe create more factions, create more teams. So maybe the next one to fall now with Naomi out, with Rhea Ripley out, is the Judgment Day, and I think it's going to happen soon. I think he may cost him the champion, may cost Priest the championship in, I guess, his Backlash. I guess they're facing off, Jey Uso and Damian Priest. I think he could cost him the championship, turn face, and this could just be a great rivalry going forward. And I think it'll be fun to see. Like I said, like you said, like I said, he deserves to be back in the main event picture, and there's no better way to do it than turning on Damian Priest, which will make me, and I know our buddy Brady, very happy, because he is the biggest Damian Priest hater I've ever seen. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to go down below and comment down below. What are your thoughts on Jacob Fatu coming into the WWE? What are your thoughts about Finn Balor potentially, turning on the Judgment Day? Let us know down below. We'd love to hear from you. And while you're down there, make sure to leave a like on the video, hit subscribe on the channel, because we're going to be here every day, sometimes multiple times a day, giving you updates, news, everything that's happening around the wrestling world. You're not going to want to miss out on that. But if you want to check out a video we did earlier today, it'll be popping up on the screen right now. But as always, I've been your host, Casey, alongside my co-host, Josh Gosse. We'll catch you in the next one.